Hey everybody, welcome back to Whiskey Book, where we do adventures through some drinks, some reading, and just talking about gear and stuff. What do I have for you today? I was putting together a video. I did a couple bag videos, and I was talking about taking out I had a BK7 knife that I was going to take out of my bag and put something else in, like a belt knife or something smaller, lighter. Still looking at that, and I've got a great video coming up on that. But while I'm kind of going through my knives, I came across something, and it didn't take me by surprise. Of course, I know what I have, but I just sort of looked at my everyday carry, and I was looking at my rotation. I have actually have one of those Harbor Freight little bitty toolboxes, about $13 or whatever they are. And I put my everyday carry knives in there, and 3 out of the 4 knives are all S30V Steel. Now, I know about 3 years ago, 4 years ago now, S30V was the champion steel. It was the high price stuff. It was the best of the best. And as things evolve, I see a lot of videos now that S30V is dead and it's not good. And well, maybe that it's not good, but it's not worth what the new stuff is. And I just kind of wanted to give an ode to S30V. I have been using these every single day for the last, 6 years. And I barely have to sharpen them, and they've held up, and it's great. And yeah, S30V still works. Do I understand where the hate comes from? Yeah, it's too expensive when you compare it to some other stuff. Like I'll bring up these knives and I'll show them and I'll talk about them and I'll say probably what steel I'd rather have in them. But is S30V bad? Nope, absolutely not. So let me just, again, this is just going to be a quick ode to. Kind of shocked that I'm going through my stuff and seeing how much S30V I have and actually how good it works. And you might think this is an ode to one knife company, but I got one in here that is not the same company. It's kind of odd, but okay. First up, the Benchmade 940 Osborne. You can't beat this knife. This is the Wrangler Star. Like, he had this forever and ever and ever and loved it. I still keep the pocket clip on mine. This is absolutely in my rotation. This thing, there's nothing in the world like it. There just isn't. For the size, the shape, I was as skeptical as anybody when before I got my first one, and then I held it at a store, and this is just one of those, it's like a hockey game. You watch it on TV and it's like, that's all right. You watch it in person and you feel the cold, you feel the hits, wow, it's a different experience. Carrying a 940 Osborne, this is on the very, very short list. If I could only have one pocket or knife, this very, very cool. Aluminum scales, liners on it. The blade shape it's got these weird angles on it that just make it uber tough. And that S30V still sharp as ever. Now, I'll be transparent. Benchmade has a really cool thing where you can, for free, you can send any Benchmade back that you haven't modified, and they will sharpen it. And they did that for me. This one had a little bit of when I would flick it out, and then it's got the axis lock on it. When it'd come back, it was a little gritty and hung up. Sent it in, they sharpened that one for me and smoothed it out. I don't know if they put new bearings in or what they did, but I've had this for a long time. This steel never chipped, never let me down. I don't think you can do better. I mean, I know there's like Spy 27 and MagnaCut and this and that and S45 and S35 and oh my goodness, that those things will hold an edge forever. But can you ever sharpen them? Probably not. You got to send them back to the company. I mean, some people can sharpen them, but most of us, we don't want to spend the time, right? S30V, if you can find it on sale, woo, that's a dang good blade. Okay, second one. Again, a Benchmade. We're going to have a theme here. Benchmade Bug Out. Used to really, really love this knife. This bug out I have, S30V. This one's actually probably the dullest of the ones I have because I carried it the most. This is so light. Just it. I work in an office environment. I can put this in pants that, you know, probably not my dress pants, but everything else doesn't weigh down the pocket, doesn't show very much. Very good in an office environment, short enough that nobody really cares. Used it for opening tons of boxes, packages, whatever, you name it. This has been by my side for a long time. Why I say it's, you know, I used to love it, and I wouldn't say my love is waning, but it's a little plasticky. You hear that? It's never let me down. I love the blade shape, the drop point blade on this. Everything's good about it. It's just, you know, the fizz isn't there, man. It's sort of a boring knife, but S30V, again, ode to the S30V. I have carried this more than any of these other knives, and it has, there has never been a situation where I was like, oh, I need Magna Cut, I need CPM 3V, I need M4, I need whatever the heck, like good stuff here. Okay, we're going to switch. This is the one curve in the road. I have a Spyderco Paramilitary 2 in CPM S30V. Imagine that, right? If you ask me what I'm going to show you I have 5 knives in front of me. Which one, if I could only pick one, it's between this and the 940, like for sure. I've been carrying this one a lot more lately. I just love the feel, love the shape, love that you can choke up on it. This knife is just, Spyderco did it right with this one. I've used this so much, used, abused. It's been I've got, I wouldn't say a homestead, but I've got some acreage. I've got a shop. I got a garden. I got some chickens. I've got feed bags I cut open, boxes I cut open, everything you would need for a belt pocket knife thing to do. CPM S30V in this knife has been fantastic. Now this is where I will veer off my ode to S30V. Would I rather have this in the crew wear? Yeah, I would. Crew wear is a little tougher. That's the most important thing to me. But would I spend the money on it having this? I don't think so. S30V rocking and rolling with the Spyderco. All right, we're back to Benchmade. This is a knife I got on sale. There was this is the Presidio, Benchmade Presidio, another axis lock knife. There was a sporting goods company going out of sale. I got this on going out of business. I got this on a really good sale because of that. This is a bigger knife, solid in the hands. I have the old Benchmade Bone Collector. This is like the upgraded version of that. Very solid knife, very stout. S30V on this is sharp as hell. It's got that, very tacky sharp on there. Handle is great. Like you could use this anywhere. I don't carry this as much. It's a little bit heavier. It's a little bit thicker, but it's one of those like for going out camping or whatever, you throw in a small bag or something, you have a knife with you. Very, very awesome knife, very stout knife. It's one of those, the blade shape, drop point, hunter, if you're a hunter, you could use this for hunting. Definitely better. I've grew up with buck 110s and the old westerns and whatever. This would run circles around that. And the S30V, I know it's going to hold up. That's what this is about, right? Like the S30V is tough enough to hold up. It's sharp enough to hold up. All of these knives, that one not as much, but the Spyderco and then the 940 and the Bug Out, I have carried these every single day for the last 4, 5, 6 years. I think the Osborne goes back 5 years. I think I got the Spyderco, the Osborne, and then the Bug Out, and they've gone back and forth. I've used them for everything. The only thing I've ever done on them is, I think on the Spyderco, I tightened up the clip on it. That's it. And then like I said, I sent the Osborne back, and they did sharpen that and kind of smoothed out the action a little bit. It was still worked before that, but the steel has never let me down. So I don't understand the internet hate for S30V. I do understand that it's probably, when you compare it to the steels out there, the super steels, it's a little bit pricey for what you get. I would love to see S30V go the way of like D2. Many years ago, D2 was like, oh my God, you're getting a super steel. Not super steel, but a really good steel. And now it's the absolute budget steel. And you'll see probably in the next video, D2 is highly underrated, along with 14C28N, those two steels. Like this whole thing that you need a Magna Cut or CPM 3V. By the way, CPM 3V is my favorite steel. That you need S45VN, S35 SPY 27. That you need these steels to do anything is ridiculous. Yeah, they're great, but for what we do, I would love to see S30V drop about 30% in price, 25-30% in price, and be available to people, because it is fantastic at that level. And then the last one here, this is my Benchmade Bushcrafter. It's a Siebert design. I can't remember his first name, but this is an S30V. S30V is a little tougher than like S35, S40, 45, 40? Yeah. I can't remember if it's 45 or 40 right now. I think it's 45. I don't have anything in that. This thing, I've used it around the place. I've split some logs with it. It's got a super sharp spine on it. I've done some fire steels with it. The handle, it's got this weird ergonomic stuff. And yeah, I'm talking about the steel, but might as well show you the knife as well. It's super. It looks like it'd be sharp, but it's super comfortable. Yeah, the blade sharp. It looks like the handle would be sharp, but that thing just fits in the hand really well. I really love this knife. And they have a new one, and here's another one, just like the Spyderco. The brand new one is in crew wear. Would I prefer crew wear? Probably. It's a lot like CPM 3V. It's tougher, but I don't know. This S30V, it's really good. It hasn't let me down. I can keep it super sharp. I got a fire steel on the sheath. Now the sheath, let's not talk about the sheath right now. Benchmade can do better than that. But this knife is bad A for what you get. And I guess the point of this is, if you can find S30V for a reasonable price, don't hesitate. Like the internet is killing me. I've watched, I don't know, 3-4 videos now talking about how S30V is dead and people don't like it. And it's awful. And it's almost like, they'd rather have it OS 8 than that or something like that. And that's just ridiculous. S30V is still, it's at the lower end of the super steels. I would love to see it become more like in the budget category, but even if it's not, if you find one of these on sale, or even hell, if you end up and you just go to the store and you're like, I really like this knife, and you get home and you're like, well, it was S30V, don't be sad. Just don't. It's really good. And I'm talking from like experience of using these in daily life. It's more than just cardboard. It's opening cans. It's cutting sticks. It's just daily using it, plastics and bags and things that just dull the blade. Am I taking my bug out and batoning sticks? No, that's not what it's for, and I'm not going to test it up that, because that's not what I'm going to use it for. But do I think if I did it right that this would do it? Yeah, absolutely. And that's all I wanted to say is sticking up a little bit for the S30V. It's not my favorite steel. I'm kind of I really like the lower end cheap stuff that you can use and stands up to the big boys, or I like the big boys. And S30V is kind of in that middle range where it's still priced at the high end. And I think that's where the hate comes from. But it guys, it's not any different than it was when it first came out, when it was the hottest steel out there. This stuff really works. So don't hesitate to buy an S30V. You won't be let down. It's going to hold up. It's going to stay sharp, and you can actually sharpen the stuff a little bit. And it's just been fantastic for me, and I just really appreciate it because it's been with me every day for the last many years, and I appreciate it. And with that, I'll see you next time on Whiskey Book. Our next adventures will be bigger knives or bags or something more adventure-y. But I will see you then, and thanks for sticking with me.